You've been scrolling listings, checking mortgage calculators, maybe even creeping through open houses, but something's holding you back. Maybe it's the fear of buying at the wrong time. Maybe you just don't know where to start. Here's what no one tells you. You don't need to know everything to buy a home. You just need to know the right things. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to buy a home in Calgary step by step. And if you want to know what the Calgary real estate market looks like right now, I've got a separate video linked below for the latest stats. But this is about the how. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the logistics, I want to ask you something I ask every buyer. Why do you want to buy? Is it freedom, family, whatever your reason is, that why is going to be your anchor when things get real. All right, now let's get into the actual process step by step. Step 1, find the right agent. Before we go looking at homes, let's talk about who's coming with you on that journey. It's totally okay to interview a couple of agents before committing. In fact, I encourage it. You're about to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, so you want someone who gets you, someone who you can be bluntly honest with and who gives that right back. And once you find that person, commit. Don't double dip, don't hedge your bets, because when you commit to your agent, we commit to you fully. Your dreams become our mission. Now, sometimes it's just not the right fit, and that's okay too. If it's not working, just say so. You're not ghosting a date here. You're making a professional decision. If an agent takes that personally, that's probably confirmation you made the right call. That's especially important if you've signed a contract. Some agents include cancellation fees or clauses where you could be on the hook for commission even if you stop working together. I don't, because I genuinely believe I shouldn't be paid by someone who doesn't want to work with me. I'd rather you find the right fit, and I will be cheering you on as you do. And while we're on the topic, let's talk commission. Yes, it's negotiable, but in most cases, as a buyer, you're not the one paying it out of pocket. Commission is almost always built into the sale price and paid by the seller through the transaction. You won't see a separate invoice. Now, occasionally, we come across listings like for sale by owner or certain brokerages that offer less than what's outlined in your buyer agreement. And when that happens, I always give my clients a heads up before we even view the home. From there, we talk through options, negotiating the commission into the deal, adjusting the offer price, or deciding it's not the right home. It's totally your call. My job is to protect your interests, not push you into a bad fit. And look, I know realtors don't always get the best reputation. Every profession has a few bad apples. If you want to buy unrepresented, you absolutely can. But I'll be honest, you don't know what you don't know. And when you're making the biggest purchase of your life, that blind spot can cost you. As for me, I work my butt off for my clients. I study the market, I answer late night texts, I drop everything to get you in for that last minute showing because providing great service genuinely matters to me. And if you're not in Calgary, I probably know someone incredible in your city I can connect you with. But if you are in Calgary, well, I'd love the opportunity to work with you. Step 2, get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. Let's talk money and why pre-approval is everything. I don't care what kind of market we're in, fast-paced or slow, pre-approval is not optional because here's what happens without it. You fall in love with a home, but you're not ready to offer. You lose time chasing paperwork and someone else walks away with your dream home. Without a pre-approval, you can't move fast, and in this market, that could be a deal breaker. But with a pre-approval, you walk in strong, your offer carries weight, you're not just shopping, you're negotiating with leverage. A pre-approval tells us exactly what you can afford, what your monthly payments will look like, and what interest rate you're working with before we ever go see a single property. And if we need to double check on numbers on a specific home, we can call your broker and get a live read on whether that home fits the plan. Now remember, pre-approval is based on you, your income, your credit, your down payment. But when we find a home you want to write on, the lender still needs to approve that specific property. They're making sure it fits their risk profile too. Location, condition, price. That's why we don't waste time during the condition period tracking down T4s or waiting on pay stubs. We do all of that up front. So once your offer is accepted, we can go straight to work getting it firm. If you already have a mortgage broker, awesome. If not, I work with some fantastic ones. I would be happy to connect you. These aren't people who ghost you or take 5 days to get back. They're the kind of professionals who keep deals together. The bottom line is a pre-approval doesn't just help you buy a home, it helps you compete to win. Step 3, know your needs versus wants. let's talk about what you want in a home and, more importantly, what you need. At this point, I tell every client the same thing. You're spending a lot of money, so yes, you have every right to be picky. Be particular, be thoughtful, because ideally you're buying a home that works for at least 10 years. That means we're focusing on the stuff you can't change. The location, the size of the yard. Are you someone who loves to bask in the sun? The orientation of your home might be super important because a shaded backyard can really change how someone uses their outdoor space. Whether there's room to grow a family, your income, or your investment. Sure, you might have to compromise on finishes or fixtures, but you shouldn't be compromising on your deal breakers, like needing 3 bedrooms upstairs if you're planning for more than one kid. If I'm working with a couple planning to have kids, I'll ask, how many do you think you'll want? Because here's what happens before kids. People say, oh, we'll just move one into the basement later. And then life happens. Suddenly you've got a newborn and a toddler, and the idea of your 3-year-old sleeping 2 floors away, that's a hard pass. So we talk about those things now before you're in the thick of it. That way, the home you buy today still fits your life tomorrow. We'll have you come up with a needs versus wants list so I can try to get as many as possible in there. Once our initial meeting discussing these kind of thought-provoking questions is done, I send a Google form to fill out to set up your search so we can have that to look back on. And things change during a search. Areas that you once thought were a yes become a no. Styles of homes can change, and all of that is perfectly okay. In general, I say I reserve the right to grow and change my mind at any time. And I think others do as well, especially my buyers in the middle of a home search. This is your home buying journey. Step 4, the search begins. Here's where it gets fun and a little intense. With your goals and financing ready, we hit the ground running. And I don't just mean sending you listings. We're scouting neighborhoods, checking resale values, looking at what's selling around the corner. If you're wondering what homes are really worth in a given area, I'll show you the numbers behind it. I set my clients up on 2 searches, one for active homes on the market and one for solds within that first search criteria. So as we're looking, we're seeing what other homes are selling for as well. The logistics of the search are pretty easy. When you find one you want to view, you favorite it, which notifies me to reach out to set up a showing. Now, once we start getting into homes, when you walk into the one, you will feel it. You should never feel like your agent is trying to sell you a home. You will know when you love it. It's when you think, shit, I will be really sad if this sells to someone else. Our job in sales comes in when we're selling your price positioning and offer to the listing agent. Step 5, it's getting serious. Let's talk about the offer. This is where buyers often get a little nervous, and fair enough, it's a legal contract and you're putting money on the table. The big question I get is about deposits. In Calgary, a deposit is typically around 2% of the home's value. Some sellers might ask for more. It depends on the price point, how competitive the market is, and how serious you want your offer to look. But here's the important part. Your deposit is protected by your conditions. When we write an offer, we build in those conditions: financing, home inspection, sometimes a condo doc review or sale of buyer's home, a well report, septic inspection. If for any reason you don't waive one of those conditions, say your financing doesn't firm up or something major shows up in the inspection, your deposit is returned to you and you walk away. No harm, no penalty. You just keep searching. Where buyers do risk losing their deposit is when they try to back out after they've waived all of their conditions. And that's why with every one of my buyers, we have a serious sit-down conversation or on the phone before waiving anything. You know the risks, the facts, and exactly what you're committing to before we give the green light. That way, you're not guessing, you're acting with confidence. Step 6, conditions and due diligence. Once your offer is accepted, the clock starts ticking. This is what we call the condition period. And you usually have 7 to 10 business days to tie up all the loose ends before going firm on the purchase. First, I send your contract, the title, and the MLS listing straight to your mortgage broker, or you can send it, whatever you prefer. This is where your pre-approval really earns its keep, because while the lender has approved you already, as I mentioned, now they need to approve the property too. They want to make sure that what you're buying makes financial sense, condition, value, location, everything. This is why I'm constantly reminding clients, pre-approval is your financial readiness. Firm approval is about the bank's comfort with the home. So while your broker is working behind the scenes, we're also booking your home inspection, and I want to be super clear about this part. Inspections aren't about nitpicking the seller or trying to get a discount. They're looking for major issues like structural problems, hidden moisture damage, and deferred maintenance that could hit your wallet later. Now, if we discover something significant that wasn't visible during the initial showing, we talk about it. We negotiate it if needed. But here's the key. We don't double dip. If we knew the home had poly B plumbing or a visible foundation crack and we negotiated on that already, we don't bring it up again after the inspection just to try and squeeze more out. That's not negotiating in good faith, and honestly, it can put the whole deal at risk. But if something big and unexpected shows up, I absolutely go to bat for you. This is where I step in hard, advising you on whether to renegotiate, walk away, or push forward confidently. Now, you're not expected to be a contractor or an inspector. That's why we hire professionals. I'll always flag anything I can see during showings, but I won't overstep my role. I'm not opening electrical panels. I'm not going to pretend I can spot mold in the attic. I stay in my lane and bring in experts who knows theirs. And if the market is moving fast and conditions aren't being accepted, we sometimes bring an inspector into your initial showing at a reduced rate so you're still doing your due diligence without skipping steps. Let me be clear though. I will never recommend an unconditional offer. Instead, I recommend smart preparation that lets us move forward without putting your deposit or peace of mind at risk. Step 7, waiving conditions and understanding risk. Once we've satisfied your conditions, your financing is firm. Inspection is done, and anything else we included has been cleared. We reach a turning point, waiving conditions. And this is where things get serious, because when you waive, you are committing to the home 100%. This is when your offer becomes firm and binding, and this is also the point where your deposit becomes non-refundable. When buyers get in trouble is when they waive all conditions and then decide to back out. That's when the seller can keep your deposit and sometimes even pursue legal action if they believe you've breached the agreement. That's why I always discuss with my clients before we waive anything. We talk through every outcome, every what if, and make sure you're crystal clear on what comes next. You will never be rushed into waiving. You will be informed, calm, and ready. Because the goal here isn't just to get you into a home, it's to help you buy smart and sleep well at night, knowing it was the right move. Step 8, closing and possession day. Once we've waived conditions, your lawyer takes the lead from here. You'll meet with them about a week before possession to sign all the documents, transfer the rest of your down payment, and get everything ready for the big day. If you don't have a lawyer, no stress. I've got a few great ones I trust and can refer to you. The day before possession, we'll do a final walkthrough together. We check that the home is in the same condition it was when we wrote the offer. No new damage, no missing appliances, and everything is as expected. If something's off, we catch it early, we loop in the lawyers before any money changes hands. Then comes possession day. Once I get the call that keys have been released, I'll text or call you immediately so we can meet at the home. And yes, I will be standing there with your keys and a thank you gift. But here's a little pro tip. Even though your contract says noon, there are a lot of moving parts that day. Lawyers, couriers, banks, and sometimes keys don't release until 1 or even 2 p.m. or even up to 4 p.m. If you can schedule any deliveries or move-in activities for later in the day or even the next day, it'll save you a lot of stress and give us time to get in smoothly. Once you're in, that's it. You're home. But even though our texts might slow down, our relationship doesn't end there. Whether you've got renovation questions, resale plans, or friends who need an agent, I'm always here. The best part of my job is the friendships I've built with my clients over the years. So that's the roadmap. Buying a home doesn't have to be overwhelming. You just need a strategy and someone who cares to help you achieve your dreams. If you're ready to get started or you just want to feel more prepared, download the buyer's guide using the link below. My name is Dawn and I want to thank you for watching my video. If you've got any value, please like and subscribe. And if you're wondering what's really going on in the Calgary real estate market, watch the video linked here. I break it all down for you so it makes sense. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.